Oh man, what's going on? It's Friday. It's probably 7, a little after 7. I'm at the Pretty Estate in Blanktown, Georgia. Right now, getting ready to go in the shop. You see me pull in yesterday. Well, you didn't see me pull in, but I was here, and then next thing you know, I was shooting the fifth wheel and the camera died, so I had to charge it up. And we was in there doing some work yesterday, but I didn't shoot anything because I was charging my camera. So we're doing some work on Marla, that 1985 Aerodyne that we went to Arkansas. Met him over in Arkansas for the first time, and we worked on that and drove her back like 600 miles from there to get it back to here. There's that old wrecker in the back. So we're in there doing some work. I didn't shoot anything yesterday, but it's what it is. It's quite chilly out right now, 31 degrees I think, supposed to be 64. So hopefully either today or tomorrow, Frank's gonna get a nice warm bubble bath, and then he'll be nice and clean, get some of that salt and grime off it from the trip down here and, you know, running around. But yeah, I'll shoot some more stuff today in there. So that's what's going on today.
On the show, on the Chat Digging YouTube channel.
So here's this thing of beauty that this guy was installing basically by himself and doing a shitload of work. And I was sitting at home thinking I should be down there helping this guy out, because I want to wrench, do some things, and he can teach me a lot of stuff from engines. But someday, some other way, we'll build a motor together probably. So when I got here yesterday, this was not in here. There was no clutch on. So we installed the clutch after doing some different things, swapped some things out, and then we had to unhook this and move this back because this 18 speed is huge. And we took that little forklift right there, he lifted it up, and then we finagled that thing in there. Like, I was on the forklift at first, he was on the forklift, and I was trying to lift the transmission up and dive it back down in there, and then he was on the forklift, where I jumped on the forklift, and then we dipped and dived it. And while I was on there, I smoked this because there wasn't a ton of room to move that thing. There's no side to side on it, so I ended up breaking a light, and that was fun. But Jessica luckily rebuilt the light, so we got light here. So we got this installed. We just took it off because it was red. He wanted it black, so we painted it black. We wasn't sure if the stuff would stick, but it ended up sticking, so he just topped it off right here real quick. And then I need to put some things back together because I had taken this off. That stuff that's back here, put that back on, and then I'm probably going to run these lines sometime today. And then there's a bunch of other stuff we got to do because there's a leak somewhere he's got to take care of. So he's right here on his phone right now. Being that guy. What up? What up? So yeah, just two dudes working in a shop. At least there's a salamander out here, keep us warm, because it is 30 something out, but later on won't need it. Maybe you'd be able to open the doors, who knows. 6 degrees is awful nice. So that's what's up.
you know, fat part. So we need to move that clamp that way. You agree?
Yeah, it's right there. I mean,
Loud.
yeah, the gap is very, very small out there.
It's pretty loose.
Yeah, I'll go back over it.
Yeah. And this one.
It's right on the inside right there.
All right. Yep, I feel it. It just looked weird, but it's good. All right. Yeah, snug that one back up. Go ahead and start it back up, Chad. False alarm on my.
How long should I hold it before it?
Just as soon as the red light goes out. We oiled up the transmission. We didn't want to run it too much with just the transmission dry, so we oiled up the transmission. We don't have an oil cooler yet, so we just put in a loop. It'll be fine for now. We just hooked up the air compressor and the signal line for the governor. We got the transmission all done up. We got to make the clutch lever yet, but we want to make sure that the air system airs up. And then once that's done, we'll put the cab down, we'll get in there and we'll line up the clutch pedal where it needs to be, and we'll mark the shaft and we'll take it apart, we'll weld it up and we'll put it back in, and bing bang boom, Bob's your uncle. So let me start this thing up and see what we got. Up on the compressor.
No, it's right here.
Where?
It's this is where that line goes.
Which line?
Right there, that little small one.
No.
You don't think so?
No, that's for the shifter. Yeah, I'll get a.
What's hissing
I'll
over
make a
there?
plug. Well, that's that little signal line, that fitting that you said is loose, is broken. Can you turn the lights off?
Yeah.
We don't got much battery. You wanted me to make an 8-inch cap. Is that 8-inch you say? 8-inch or 5/32. You know?
This?
Yeah, 1/8 or 5/32.
Probably the smaller.
Let me feel it. Let me see. Yes, that one. Okay, you can just let it go off. I'm gonna make a quick plug. You ever make a plug?
I'm just trying to hear everything else.
Yeah. You ever make a plug?
This one you thinking off. So what's this one that's been off in here? Is that just
I do not know. I think that goes to the air dryer when the.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the air dryer one. Give him a little torch.
It's under here. It's right down here.
No.
The green
Not
torch?
unless you're-
The
not
lighter?
unless you're standing on it, yeah.
It was right down there.
Nope. It's not down there.
You must have moved it then.
I had to have.
Because I don't know where it's
I
at.
had to have.
You want my regular lighter, my Bic?
Well, I mean, I do, but I do, but I really need the green torch for later when you're not here.
Alrighty, well, I'm back, and we're done for the day. We did get a lot done though. We did change the air compressor, or the governor on the compressor, because for some odd reason it's not building air. We did a lot of stuff, which he would have to tell you. And then in and out of the truck, starting at 400 or 500 times, trying to build air and stuff on its own, but for some reason that compressor will only build 50 pounds. And I know it's dark in here, sorry, I'm getting ready to walk outside because I just took that hot water boiler thingamajig and washed my truck because it was completely dirty. It was freaking disgusting. So tomorrow we'll make it to where we can hook the pedal up, the clutch pedal, because it's not hooked up right now. We had to fab some things up and make it a little bit bigger, but man, look at this thing. It is so much better looking. And that salt really did a number on me just from running that one night up in Ohio. Pitted all my covers up. This stuff is still dirty. I mean, I just went through real fast and did it. Like, I'll probably grease up the tires just for shits and giggles, but I didn't have any degreaser, so I just used hot water and then some Dawn on a wash mitt and climbed up and did the cab, tried to do the frame what I could and the tanks and shit, and then I just took a rag and wiped it down. That way I could get see if I had any spots that I missed, because I knew I missed a couple spots here and there, but that happens occasionally. But man, this thing is looking so much better now. I'll probably grease up those tires tomorrow. I might climb under it and grease the truck too, and top off all the air, even though the air was building with those little pressure regulators when I was coming down. Once it started warming up and I was getting in different places to where the weather was hotter. So I'll probably come back tomorrow. He says he's not sure if he wants to work on Marla too much. We were going to put the exhaust on tonight, but he's hungry and wants to shower and get some food. So that is that for today until we come back. Arrivederci, baby. Done? Yeah. Sweet.
It's hot. It's finished.
Sure it is, but so what we got going on here, folks, is the clutch rod for the pedal wasn't long enough, since he's got that big fancy long transmission they just put in this truck. So he'd fabricate some things up, if you know what I mean. So you just seen him welding it. So now we can hook that up, and I can put the transmission stuff right here with the cables, that box on the top of that, and hook them up. You know, I got the heim joints over there sitting on a table. So that's what's going on today. Saturday morning. Saturday.
All right, Chad's gonna run up in there. We just did major work on this thing. Keep an eye on that air pressure. Kick it. Yeah, it might be.
But did you? That's the governor that was on it.
Yeah, that's Tim's governor.
Okay, so if we swapped them out, then
We could.
It'd be 120.
Yeah, we could, but I want it to be high because the RGN requires a lot of air.
But I guess you'd want to keep it running to C.
What do you think?
You'd want to keep it running to C.
Yeah.
Somebody's here. Right here.
Hey, what's up?
Yep. So we had to change the compressor out because it wouldn't build air past 70. While we were doing that, this we had to take all this stuff off the front, and then these bolts were stripped. So we basically had to steal some from that block over there, this cover, and put it on there. And then we got, it's a little bit different of a color. Let me see if I can find that light real quick. I was just up in the truck. I should have took you up there with me, but I just figured I'd leave you on there. That way you could see if I could find that light. Maybe I'll just grab my phone and throw it in there. If you can see, it's a little bit lighter and it has some sparkle in there, but yeah, that other compressor wasn't working, so we stole this one off that block that's sitting over there. Lost about a gallon or two of coolant on the ground. Threw this old exhaust back on real quick, that way we could hear things when we're doing stuff. We also got this hooked up. Probably have to take it back apart and then reroute the wires because of the cables, because you can't leave them right there. When you turn the wheel, it's going to end up touching and dragging on those, so they'll have to be rerouted another time. But I mean, for the most part, you know, it's one of the things. So yeah, and that, he says Tim has his governor set higher, so if you wanted to switch him out, he could see. I shut it down at 140, that way it didn't get too high, so it, you know, you don't want nothing blowing out. And there's no exhaust. There's a little tube thing on the bottom there that could be the exhaust, because there's not an air dryer on this truck, but it we'll fire it up later and check it out again. That way we can see if that's the case, because if that's the case, then it'll exhaust at 140. But it was just at 140 and I shut it down. So that's my last beer right there. I'm gonna have to run up to the little country store here in a minute, get some more, if you know what I mean. Because Big Dad needs Buc-ee's. Oh, and I did clean up the truck a little bit. When I was waiting on him, he was doing some stuff, finagling around. And I'll fall out of here. Put some china on the tires and stuff. Greased up the old fifth wheel because it was bad. Its whole side was down and shit, and just iced her like a cake. He had some shit in there. And clean the windows. I'm gonna need to go through sometime with some polish and try to get this off. This from the salt sitting up the house. Like on these two here a little bit. And then this is always fun right here. The stacks I got from Forest State's already rusting out and stuff on me. So can't leave shit sit, that's for sure. But it's what it is. That's trucking. At least that's good. I did book a load for Monday. I forgot. I don't know if I said that or not. So I'll be heading out Monday morning over to Pittsview, Alabama to grab something and head over to North Carolina and dropped off a couple trailers. Looked at it online. Guy called me back. He said, hey, seen you checking this out. I said, how many chains you need? Because he said you need some chains to strap two loader trailers down is what he was saying. I said, what are they, flatbeds or step decks? I don't know. He's like, no, they're. I said, okay, dude, I have 4. Call him and ask him. He called him and asked him. Called me back like 5 minutes later. He said, blah, blah, blah. I said, can you do more on the rate? And we finagled on that. I got more money. So Monday, I'll be heading over there, and then I'll be on another adventure.
So it's going to be a little different because there's no turbo boost lights. I forgot we got to make those. That's fucking crazy, isn't it? I know I'm cursing.
That's all right. You can edit that out. It's your video.
Yeah.
Oh man, would you just look at that beautiful piece of machinery. And Frank's over here at the ranch house. Right across the street, there's a beautiful 379 Peterbilt that I'm gonna do a shoot on here after a bit. Once we get back from over here, we gotta do some shit, and then we're gonna come back over to the shop, and then I'm gonna go across the street and visit and do a little something with that Peterbilt. So we'll be back. Well, I'm just up here on the roof of the shop, trying to figure out where the bad spots are at and the leaks, and I've pretty much seen them. Let me flip you around real quick and I'll show you a couple things. That way he can see them too. You can see where it's ate out, if you know what I mean. So right here, this stuff is all blowed out through. You can see this right here, and I can even see down in the shop from this spot. That's all rusted out. Right there, it's pushed down in. Up there, there's it's a really bad spot. Right here, where that's just rusted out, even though someone tried to caulk all this stuff. It'd probably need a whole thing of rubber to go on top of it to be able to do that. Not very heavy, so I can do this because I've already been scooting around up here. But there's a lot of crap that is just sitting on top of here. Really need some loppers to trim some of these trees back and brush all this stuff off. There's a spot that's rusted out that's super soft, and then right over here. I'm right on the rafters where they screwed this stuff into, you know, so I'm okay. Plus I've already crawled all the way up to the front. He tried to throw me a broom so I could sweep this shit off, but right here, this is super soft right here. So there's a leak right here. Probably this where the insulation's coming down in the shop, and then in the back over there, probably right in here. I mean, it's all running down. It's laid properly because that's the back, but the problem is that water will trickle down and it just sits on top there, especially when it gets a bunch of crap like that built up. You know, nobody comes up here and cleans this stuff up for years. It's just something that happens over time. It doesn't matter. And I mean, some of these screw heads are popped out and stuff like that, but that happens too because, you know, cold hot, swell, shrink, and then it's just what it is. So that's what's going on the roof. At least I can give him some kind of accurate diagnosis, if you know what I mean, for coming up here. But yeah, loppers for these trees would be really good. But oh, check out this over here. This is cool. Peterbilt hood and cab that's up on this other trailer, and these trailers are super soft, and there's probably the air cleaner for a truck bed. You can't necessarily, you have to stay on the side of those or you will come down, because we were just both up on that one and we scooched around and shit like that, but it's what it is. So I'm gonna climb down and let him see some pictures, that way he knows what's going on with his roof. Well, I'm out in the shop here now after that excursion up on the roof. Yeah, you can see right there that tin just coming where the two pieces lap together, and this stuff is falling down. But we did get a light hung. I put a couple of doors I dug around back in that trailer, because these are all aluminum trailers that they used for the bottom section of this, which he plans on redoing. He'll probably end up reskinning this whole shop because it needs it. So there'll be new skin on the top, new skin on the sides, because he'll drag these out once he gets round out here and then go from there. But I dug those out because there was a big ass hole there. Found them back there and just dug them out, hung that light. Just sets that light up right there because it was just barely hanging down. And then I might scoot around and check some more stuff out. I don't know what Bubby has planned next. So it is nice to have that salamander out here though, because that does pump a lot of shit. And when we first got here, this thing was locked up. So he had a can WD-40 because I wanted to see if there was a year on this. That way he could probably try to sell it, but it'll probably just end up being something scrap once he gets his tow motor out here, or drag it out with the the wrecker. But it's the Handy Machine Company, Torrington, Connecticut, USA. Couldn't find a year. Feeds 4 times thread spur inch. I don't know, 16 by 80. If anybody knows anything about these and has some knowledge, comment would be cool. That way, you know, we could find it. And I looked at all the tags. We cleaned everything off to try to see if we could figure out what year it was. That way I could get some kind of, I could Google it at least and see, but there's all kinds of stuff around here. Old Kenworth gauge. This one says it's going to a Honda. And then I thought that was a Peterbilt up on the roof that I just showed you, but that's not. That is actually a Kenworth. And that has the old KW pedal in it, which was cool. I seen that when I was up there. But yeah, might go do some exploring around some other things and see what's here and what's not, and if he can use anything that's usable for some stuff. If not, we'll be back later.